Ron DeSantis, presidential hopeful, speaking live. Let's listen.
New Hampshire because, coming from Florida, we have no income tax, second lowest per capita tax burden in the country. When I go north, I usually go in the less hospitable tax climates, but you got this one little outpost in New England that's holding the line as the live free or die state. So thank you for that. And I just want to say, I know there's a lot that we can criticize President Biden for, and we will do it, but one of the things he deserves criticism for is, he's trying to abandon New Hampshire as the first in the nation state. And that is wrong, and he's doing that for his own political benefit without understanding, the role that a smaller state can play in this nomination process. And so I think what he's been doing with the Democrats is wrong, and I'm glad the Republicans are holding the line and are committed to New Hampshire. Our country is going in the wrong direction. I think we all see it. I think we feel it. Is anybody happy with having an open southern border where drugs are pouring in and killing millions of Americans? Is anybody happy with economic policies that are causing costs to rise and the value of our dollar to decline by almost 20% in the last 4 or 5 years alone? Is anybody happy that we have a presidential administration trying to kneecap our own ability to produce energy and be energy independent? Is anybody happy that we have a bureaucracy that is so detached from accountability that it's been weaponized against people it doesn't like? I mean, if Hunter were a Republican, he would have been in jail by now, and we all know that. Is anybody happy to see some of our formerly great American cities kneecapped by violent crime and see inmates running the asylum? Is anybody happy to see this woke mind virus infect all these institutions and try to impose that ideology on society and even on young kids? Are people happy that this federal government attempted to impose a biomedical security state on us under the auspices of COVID mitigation that did so much damage to people's livelihoods and freedoms and children's education? And of course, coming off this past weekend, we all should be upset that we lost 13 service members in Afghanistan due to the incompetence and dereliction of duty of President Joe Biden. Now, I think part of the reason we have these problems in this country is because we have an elite in Washington, D.C. that looks out for itself. And they put their interest over our interests as Americans, and they put their interest over our national interests as a country. 5 of the 7 wealthiest counties in the United States of America are suburbs of Washington, D.C. Now, how did that happen? I can tell you Washington, D.C. isn't producing much other than mountains of debt and loads of hot air, and yet there you have it, where you have all these people who are doing very well and living high on the hog. These elites, they don't want to enact an agenda to represent our interests. They want to enact an agenda that is imposed upon us from on high. And I think that's caused a lot of Americans to wonder, are you really going to get a fair shake? Is the American dream something that's still attainable? I'm living proof that the American dream works. I was born, in Florida. I was a blue-collar kid. My parents were working class. My mom was a nurse. My father worked for the Nielsen television ratings company. You actually had to put the rating boxes on the TV sets back then to get the ratings, and so that's what he did. My grandfather worked in the steel mills in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I was just, Pittsburgh, okay. I was born in '78. That was kind of the tail end of the dynasty of the Steelers. And so even though I was born in Florida, there are baby pictures of me in Steelers regalia. I ended up becoming a Tampa Bay fan because that's where I grew up. And, just so you New Englanders know, we really appreciated using Tom Brady for a few years. That worked out very well for us. I know you guys had a heck of a run, but for us to get a Super Bowl with that, great. And he's as good as they come. But, I had blue-collar upbringing. I was told you're not entitled to anything. you got to work for it. So I started working minimum wage jobs. My first job, full-time job, was I was just graduated high school. You know, you graduate high school, kids have fun over the summer. They do things before they go. Not me. I went and showed up. I was working for an electrical company as an electrician's assistant. So this is 5 days a week, 6 a.m., minimum wage. It actually taught me about government, too, because the first day I showed up, I'm in there, like a flannel shirt, jeans, work boots, whatever. I show up, and they look at me, and they start looking at these work boots, and they sent me home. And I'm like, what did I do? Did I get fired on the first day? Like, no, we can't figure out whether your boots are approved by OSHA. I didn't know what OSHA was at the time, and then I figured out it's a federal agency. So I had to go buy OSHA-approved boots, which cost me as much as I made in that entire first week on the job. I don't know that it made me any safer, but it definitely made me a little bit poorer. So that was a lesson in life about when government's saying it's going to protect you, sometimes it's not necessarily doing that. But we did it, and we worked, and I used it, and then I'm in college, and I'm working. I was a baseball player. I'm doing all this stuff, working on studies, but always working these jobs when I could. And I only did that because I just believed in America. Hard work pays off. If you dig in and do it, eventually doors will open for you. And I think that we need to make sure that spirit survives in this country. If you don't think that working hard is going to pay off, why would you do it? If I didn't believe in America, I may have made much different choices than I ended up making.
All right, Governor DeSantis there speaking in New Hampshire. He was in Iowa this week as well. His next stop will be South Carolina in a hard push